Welcome back, y'all. It's Clifton Joseph, and this is the Old Heads Talking Basketball. We've been away for a while, for almost a whole season, maybe 2 seasons, actually. And we're back here for the Raptors playoffs, playing the 76ers in Philadelphia. And we lost the game 131 to 111. I'm here with Michael Solomon, basketball legend. Michael, welcome to the Groove. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. It's nice to be back. It's been a while.
I'm telling you. Also, of course, you've been doing your own gig. You got your Solomon Studios. Can you talk to us briefly about Solomon Studios and your artistic pursuits?
Solomon Studios being busy painting, doing a lot of paintings, action paintings of sports, mainly basketball, and just marketing my products. You know, my products are available at, as you know, on SolomonArtStudio.com. Fashion and art for sale. Of course,
you've got that billion poster you did of Kobe Bryant. Then you got the other one with, I watched the early game tonight, for instance, with your boy Edwards.
Anthony Edwards playing like a giant, man.
Timberwolves, and he had a whole bunch of points, didn't he? Didn't he win the game for them?
He's consistent right through. He plays with so much poise. Today was a record, the first time 2 guys under 22 went for over 36 points. Him and Ja.
Dig, right on.
Yeah, that was nice.
What about my man in Philly though? He went for 30-something points too.
Oh, Maxey was unstoppable tonight.
I'm telling you, man. You know, we had nothing to waylay that guy from going to the basket. It seems like.
It didn't see it. The Raptors didn't take the court until after halftime. That's the way it looked like.
Let's get into the game then, because what the ABCDF was wrong with the Raptors tonight? Because they looked like they were effing up all night.
The Raptors were not ready for this game. Nobody looked like they were ready. I mean, Gary Trent missed a whole bunch of shots. He didn't get going until the second half.
Dig.
Van Vliet looked rusty. Everybody looked. The defense was awful, man. Seriously, the defense was just awful. It's like Philadelphia has done their scouting. They've seen how the Raptors have played them in the past, and they changed things up. And it really affected the Raptors. The Raptors did not start playing basketball until the second half. I think they got to within like 16 at the most, at the lowest, and that was it.
Because they were up most of the game by 20-something. I mean, down by 20-something.
Yeah.
Because look here.
There's no transition, Clifton. The main thing is we did not have a transition game.
Get the ball and run out and move it up the other court.
There was none of that. Everything seemed so slow and deliberate. You know, there was no flashing. Nobody. You know, it was a poor performance. Their worst performance of the year, which is a good thing for us. You know, get the bad out now.
Even though, for instance, right, Siakam still had 24 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. OG had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Van Vliet had 18, 1 and 6. Barnes had 15, 10 and 8. 2 rebounds shy of his first triple-double.
Yeah.
He might have gotten that if he stayed in the game, I thought.
He was the highest scorer at halftime with 11 points, right?
Indeed, somewhere there.
So the points that those guys got in the second half did nothing to really affect the game.
Absolutely.
So them scoring the points that Siakam and Van Vliet scored it's how they scored those points. We didn't get enough assists, you know, we didn't get enough screens. It seemed like they're trying to go one-on-one the whole game. And you can't win in this NBA going one-on-one. You have a guy hot like Maxey, you let him penetrate and go to the hoop. I mean, he'll kill you all night. He was so hot. He was scorching hot. Good for him. I mean, you know.
Because Michael, he got his at 38 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, right? And also Harris had for the Sixers 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And Harden had 25 points, 5 and 4. and Embry had 19, 15, and 4.
Harden only had,
We can't allow that. We cannot allow that. How the fuck did we allow that?
he didn't show up to the game. Quite simple. It's not about allowing it. It's about showing up, man. Come on. Coach should have had those guys ready. They weren't ready. They never adjusted. And to tell you the truth, Scotty Barnes could average a triple-double if he wanted to.
Of course.
But he's a dude that don't care about stats. He just cares about the game. He is the smartest rookie I've seen on the court in a long time. I've been watching this guy over the course of the year. And the simple things he does, you know, like setting screens and just the way he thinks the game.
Everything.
You can see it, yeah.
I have him pegged as my rookie of the year. What about you?
Same here. I mean, we have a better record than Cleveland, so you know, I go on that. Mobley is I say number 2.
What the
winning
ABC
team compared to Cleveland, right? So
what the ABCDF was with Fred VanVleet tonight, baby.
I don't know, man.
He got his points, but he fouled out.
Yeah, he fouled out. Boucher fouled out.
Yes.
You know, it was just a lack of this. I don't have any answers for what they did tonight. I couldn't tell you what. There's nothing positive from this game, but to say they can't play that bad ever again, if they tried.
Because, dude, I went into this thinking that this series, that there's no way the Raptors can lose the series. That was me. What about you going in when you think about us?
Well, I look at the record against Philadelphia for the year. They're 3-1 against Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. For the season.
For the season. But now this is the playoffs. The playoffs is a whole different animal.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's a half-court game now.
Problems and their adjustments. I think, you see, when Harden first came to Philadelphia, after the first few games, I got so excited about Philadelphia. I said, holy shit. With Maxey, Harden, and Embiid, they can't lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fell off, you know, they just fell off. They didn't play well. Now, they're dangerous now. Now they come back, they got things together. They got things together, man. Everybody's touching the ball. And you got guys like Harris scoring big points. If we don't, we have to play defense, man, because we didn't stop anybody.
But we were supposed to be known for defense, right? So what happened? We're switching. We are supposed to be the kings of switching.
I think maybe they gassed the locker room or something, man. Those guys look lackadaisical. They didn't have any energy.
Dude, they've been off for like a week.
But that's the problem.
How do you mean? How do you mean? As an ex-player,
that's the problem. They've been off too long. Maybe they didn't get a chance. They don't have any energy. They did not have any pep. You know, even Siakam on his little spins looks like he was really in slow motion today. You know, the only person that played well today was Scotty Barnes.
Yep, too shy of his first triple-double.
Yeah.
2 more rebounds and he would have made it.
But I won't be surprised if he has a triple-double every game.
I'm telling you, the dude is ready for it.
Just because of the way he plays the game. He plays all 5 positions. They depend on him to bring the ball up the court. They depend on him for a whole lot. He is beyond a rookie right now. Right? He was a rookie for the first 3 months of the season. Yeah. Then he became a veteran. That's how he's playing. He's playing like a veteran.
But Michael, we know that as long-standing lifelong Raptor fans, right, is that the Raptors used to be up like 20 way back in the day, and you're listening to say to yourself, how will they mess this game up and lose, right? Mm-hmm. So now that we're into the situation where we weren't even the underdog, even most of the Americans are saying that the Raptors are going to win this series, right? So that psychological shift from being underdog to being the ones who are, you know, anointed, how does that affect psychologically Raptors fans and the Raptors players, more importantly?
But that doesn't matter how it affects the Raptors fans, it's about how it affects the players.
But
I think all that talk did to Philadelphia.
Evidently, it certainly did, though, but go ahead.
what all that talk did for Philadelphia, they had to show up because they didn't like the talk. If I was Philadelphia, I would not like all that talk.
Neither with me.
They were looking, so they showed up. They came in with some, they came in with a purpose and a plan, and it worked to perfection because we had no answer for their offense.
Who played?
Embiid was just taking his position down low, taking his time, fake, basket. Harris, what was Harris's shooting percentage tonight?
I don't know, but he had 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 14 assists. No, sorry.
Harris had the assists?
No. Harris had 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists.
Yeah. He played a great game. He played the way he was supposed to be playing for them. Right? That's the promise of Harris, was supposed to be the part of their big three.
Yes.
Right? And then he was, so now they have a big four.
We can't have 4 players in Philadelphia doing 38 points, 26 points, 25 points, 19 points a game. Come on.
None of that. I don't hear any defense anywhere there with those kind of points.
Absolutely.
There's no way you could win a game.
Maxey with 38, the most in the game.
Mm-hmm. Maxey, that was a special night. He was in the zone. And you see, there's that one shot he had falling down to the ground, right? He waited till he almost hit the ground, then he let the shot go and it went in.
Dig, he did it. I love that one. Yeah.
Come on.
So did that dude, Michael, as an ex-player, does he own the ball that night? The ball that was playing in the game? Do they give it to him?
Definitely, that's a game ball. That's the game ball performance. But being in the playoffs right now, they're gonna keep it low key. They're gonna pat him on the back, not hype it up so much. He knows what he's
because you don't want to give anybody any kind of extra.
Yeah.
You don't want to give anybody any.
You want to stay on an even keel. You don't want to get too excited about that performance. If you're Maxey, you want him to come back and do it again.
Michael, I had posted on social media, and I know you, I don't know if I talked to you about it, but you disagreed with me. I had proposed, right, that Night Nurse Nick, the Raptors coach, which is what I call him, Night Nurse Nick, right, that he should have tried a strategy of taking either Scotty Barnes or Trent Jr. out of the starting lineup and put them to the bench. Because if you insert Precious, who can deal with Embiid, or you even bring in Birch, who can kinda, and then you get off of the bench some more firepower. You vociferously disagreed with that. Why? You said that NBA coaches don't do that.
In today's NBA, there's no such thing as a bench mob, as you were speaking of in your.
No, the bench mob came afterwards, because I was saying, well, a hockey replacement where you bring the whole bench mob on.
As you see in this game tonight, okay, the guys we had on the floor to start, they are stars, and they couldn't do it. If he made that less, what would have happened? The lead might have been way more,
But then the bench, though, would have been producing more, I would think. That's the point I was making. And you jump them up in Philadelphia.
You don't know what the bench is going to do. You need to have your starters be starters and play well. We have good guys coming off the bench. Our bench is great. They just played like caca tonight. It's no excuse, man.
I think the problem tonight was really on Night Nurse Nick, and our coach abandoned us because
it's the coach's responsibility for sure.
There's no point in the game where I saw the imprint of Night Nurse Nick anywhere in the game in terms of timeouts coming in, changing his players. Pardon?
They made no adjustments throughout the game.
He made absolutely no adjustments in the game.
They could not find an answer for what Philadelphia was doing. So that's an embarrassing reality for him to realize. So next game, expect the Raptors to come smoking.
So what it is, let's stay on that for a moment. So you say that Nick Nurse then really waved the white flag early in the game, or that he was just
No, I'm
incompetent?
just saying, in this game, let's say he was incompetent in this game. He
Absolutely.
did not have an answer for anything that Philadelphia did.
And never came up with anything to counter whatever they were doing.
No. Listen, we are moving at a different pace. We were not moving in playoff pace. Right? We play like we just started the season.
And Michael, the other thing about that, right, is that the Raptors have been saddled for years, way back into the deep days when we were just losers, where I would say and celebrate anytime the Raptors win one in a row.
Mm.
Remember them days?
Yeah, I remember those days.
So what it is that, what is it that has Nick Nurse gotten so conservative that he's not willing to junk it up, try different things? And particularly, the Raptors seem to be saddled with this idea that they start out the first quarter listlessly and just like want to get down by 20 points before they start working. They want to get beaten up before they start beating people.
But I have to take this game as just a one-off. I don't expect the Raptors to play this bad ever again. If they do, then I just throw my hands up and say,
it's over. It's over, my dear.
It's over. If they do, it's over.
If they do, it's over, my dear.
Yeah.
Over. So
I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to make a series of this.
What's
this is
your
just a
assessment?
bad way to start. We just keeping up with the Raptors playbook. We start off really bad and then we come on, right? We did it. We stuck to our playbook. We started off really bad.
We need to stop doing that. And what is your assessment then of motherfucker Night Nurse Nick then, in terms of what he's got to do to make sure these dudes from the get-go go out swinging? Like what, come
right
on.
now, what they need to do, they need to look at what Philadelphia, go look at film. They need to look at film, see what Philadelphia do to destroy them so badly. I think he's a smart enough coach. He's a smart coach. He knows shit. He does some shit out of this world. So he has to get to work.
Yeah, but he's gotten...
He must have fallen asleep at some time on the plane or something. I don't know. You got too much oxygen. I don't know.
I think he's gotten really conservative. And I believe that whole idea that the Lakers wanted him on their top list to be their coach after they fired Frank Vogel, I think that's on his mind. I think LA is on his mind.
LA is on his mind? Well, if LA is on his mind, it's not going to stay on his mind because they're not going to be thinking about him if he coaches like this. Right? Coaches like this. For that LA job, really, I think it's time to see Mark Jackson back in the league.
Shaq has been calling for it. I'm sorry, LeBron has been calling for it, apparently.
Will call for himself?
LeBron said that he would be ecstatic.
Yeah, I heard something like that. Yeah. But you know, I listened to Draymond Green's podcast. Today he had Stephen Curry on as his guest. Right. This is just before the game that they're playing right now. Actually,
they're playing the Nuggets, right?
Yeah, they're up 49-60. They're up by 11 points right now.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah, in the third quarter.
But let's go back though to Night Nurse Nick, the Raptors coach, right? How have you seen his evolution? And I know that he's an innovative coach, and even a lot of the American guys, pundits, say that for them, he's probably the best coach in the NBA. Now, here's what I'm saying. I believe that he's gotten real conservative over the last year or two, right? And that, what is your assessment then of Night Nurse Nick and how he's able to prepare his people, and how do you explain the letdown of tonight and how it is his responsibility and his lack of diligence?
Is the coach's responsibility to get the players ready.
Indeed.
And the players are responsible to the coach to come out and play with some energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody let everybody down tonight. The players let the coach down tonight for sure, because they did not play.
But did the coach let the players down though, too?
I don't know that. I mean, they never made adjustments. I mean, in terms of coaching that game, he never made an adjustment that game. So in that regard, he let the players down. Yes. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on there. You know, there's more that's going on there that we could really digest so quickly. You know, and I have to look at that game again and see what really went on. You know.
Well, one of the things I take from it, right, is that Fred VanVleet didn't do that well. It was really intolerable with Trent Jr.
Trent, yeah. Nobody had it going.
Those two doing, and next to that, I'd probably add Boucher into that. That between those three, they didn't do their optimum level of playmaking.
The coach did not set those guys up to succeed this game. He was totally outcoached by Philadelphia, and they weren't prepared. They didn't think of what Philadelphia would do against them. I mean, it's like you're playing chess, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta think of what the other guy's what the other guy's thinking. You have to kind of get that into your head, see what he's thinking. How is he gonna come back at me, and have some things planned for that. That wasn't there, man.
Because usually we own, for the last couple of years, we have owned Embiid from the time going back to 2019, our championship year. When we throw Gasol at him, Gasol would shut him down. And we own that guy. Even after Gasol left, we've owned that guy. Why?
Well, let me tell you something.
Why didn't we own him tonight?
No, nobody's going to own Embiid again.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he could be the MVP of this league. He's figuring out, he's still a young guy. He's the same age as Pascal Siakam, right? Mm-hmm. They're both 28.
But there's a certain guy named Jokic with the Nuggets.
It don't matter who. I've seen Embiid play this year, man. Embiid can't be stopped. Embiid can stop himself, but he can't be stopped. He's too smart. He's too skilled. He's too everything, man.
But dude, the Raptors have shown that they've been able to stop Giannis. They've been able to stop Embiid for years. They've been able to stop a whole bunch of centers.
Giannis is a different beast right now too. Don't forget, these players grow, and they work on their craft. And guys like Embiid and Giannis, from year to year, they're not the same player.
So what you're saying then is that
they keep getting better.
Is that Night Nurse Nick has not adjusted to the development of Giannis and Embiid in the last 2 years?
I would say that, yes.
Because we own those two guys. VanVleet.
Well, I say used to. You can't keep using that term. It's like, you know, someone keeps saying they own me, they own me. If it's me and they're saying those things, they would be giving me fuel to come back and improve myself. So I would think how I speak to the opponent as a fan. Leave them alone so they don't get too, you know, uppity and start practicing too much.
Okay, past tense. Past tense. We have owned those two dudes. So
yes.
What do you think psychologically is going on with Nick Nurse then, with Night Nurse Nick? Because he doesn't seem the same coach as he was 2019 to now.
Well,
what's missing?
I don't know. Maybe he's maybe when before it was like having a brand new car. You know, the Raptors were his brand new car. He was keeping it nice and shiny and looking after it. Maybe he fell off of that. It's not
like a Lexus.
He's gotten a bit rusty along with the car. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess
but you know what? I don't expect the Raptors to come out like this again for the rest of this year, for this playoffs.
No, I don't think so, because if you can split one of the two in Philadelphia, mm-hmm. right? We come back to Toronto, and who is it that won't be able to come based on vaccine to Toronto?
Oh, Thibault, but you see what Philadelphia did tonight.
Yeah, Thibault wasn't even a big part of it.
But of course, because they don't want him, he's really taking himself out by not getting his back seat. They don't want him to be
A major player.
out, not to be a major. They want to be a major player, but he can't be a major player because he can't be relied on. You know he can't play in Toronto, right?
And those are two games.
If you play him now, and that means you're taking game away from somebody who could do more for you in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why he didn't play much. I think he came on at some point late in the game. But yeah, they're not even thinking about him anymore.
Yeah, wow. So what do you think going on, Michael? So of course, the Raptors has a history also of losing the first game of playoffs. That's been another bane in our bonnet.
Yeah, that's true. That's for sure.
All right, but that's not the end of the world, right? So
no,
what do you expect?
Come back, we won't be. Don't forget, we're champions. We are champions.
What do you expect for game 2, given what happened tonight, this debacle?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors come back and win game 2. Because in the NBA, a team being blown out one night doesn't mean that they're going to get blown out again the next night.
What kind of adjustments specifically do they have to make, though? Van Vliet certainly has got to play better. Trent Jr.'s got to play better.
They have to look at film and find an answer for Philadelphia's offense. Quite obviously, Philadelphia's offense tonight totally confused them. They didn't have an answer to it. So they're going to have to go and find some answers.
And where was the vaunted defense that the Raptors are known for? Those 6'8", 6'7", 6'9" dudes with their 7'4" wingspan, switching and deflecting and stealing. Where was all that?
They were doing all that stuff in slow motion. It doesn't work in slow motion. You know, they were not engaged. They were not engaged. If I was a coach, I would have tore a strip off of those guys. They played like, I don't know.
Shit.
Maybe a little worse than that. Find something worse than that. That's what they played.
Sorry, you're gonna have to do that. I'll get. I might get very obscene, but so you have to deal with that one. Let's say doo-doo. Let's say doo-doo and leave it at that.
Yeah, but you know what? I like my Raptors. I want them to come. I want them to play well.
Absolutely.
I take pride in the Raptors, and come on, they can't do that to me, man.
Because Michael,
I'm here supporting you, but come on.
This year for me, as Masai had said at the beginning of the season, in one of his major press conferences, that this season is about rebuilding and building up the young guys and getting them up to speed. But this really catapulted Raptors fans and the Raptors into a zone where at one point, they were talking about, will the Raptors make it to the play-in?
But let me tell you something. That's exactly why. You don't need to worry about the Raptors from that perspective. Raptors going to be a damn good team. And yeah, he has been, we have a hell of a roster. Look at the fears we had last year. And look at the team we have this year. Right?
Night and day.
Everybody's improved, man. Precious was a hell of a pickup.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like he got better as the year went on. You know, he got a chance to play. He can move his feet. He can shoot the three. He can bring the ball up the court. What a dynamic center to have.
In my deepest wishes, at one point early in the season, when they were doo-dooing it all over the place, with all the injuries and the COVID protocols and so on, and missing people, OG out, Siakam out, Fred out, you name it, right? I was saying, wow, I wish we could get into the play-in, and I wish that these young bloods would get a chance to go into the playoffs. And here we are, number 5, and here we are.
Well, yeah, they played well, Clifton. They did have a good year. I mean, I love the way the players were developed. The young guys showed the development over the years. You know, Banton went down and played in the 905 and, you know, and came back, and those guys all have confidence. They're all confident, but It did not show tonight.
And
I expect them to be their old selves coming back to the next
and
game.
again, can I get you in the record? Because I believe that this loss is specifically bullseying Night Nurse Nick, our coach. I think he failed the team tonight.
I think that the team failed itself. Everybody failed tonight. It's a
Don't
big
wishy-washy.
fail.
Don't wishy-washy this thing.
That's true. There's a big fail. The players didn't play. If you're a player in the NBA, you're a badass player. Regardless of what nonsense your coach is doing, you could go on the court and play well. You could talk to your teammates. Basketball is like that. The players can coach themselves, really. A good team doesn't even need the coach on the bench.
What if the coach are calling certain plays that disrupt certain dudes' flow? What if the coach doesn't bring in another player who works well with some other player that knows he loves this other player with him? I'm saying there's so many variables with the coach that you can't say that, yes, you can say a player can do stuff, but if the player isn't put in a position to do it, he can't. And that's what I'm saying about you. I'm criticizing your approach here, is that I believe it's up on the coach, that the coach didn't make the right moves. He didn't call the timeouts as he should, assiduously.
Clifton, the coach didn't make our guys go 5 for 50 or whatever the hell they shot. You know, those guys were missing like crazy. They were missing terribly, man. I mean, how many Gary Trent was, everybody was missing in close to the basket.
There are nights that those happen, but an excellent coach like Popovich, for instance, will pull the string on you, and no matter who you are as a superstar, he will pull you out of the game. I want to see some of that, more Popovich.
The guys who came into the game tonight did not make much of a difference.
Then you keep on moving the pieces, juggling them.
They tried their best, man. We got blown out. This is a blowout. As close as we got this game on the 20, it's still a blowout.
I believe it's still on the coach, brother.
The coach has to take responsibility for everything. But in this case, I'm going to blame the players too, because they played like shit as well. The only player that showed up tonight was Scotty Barnes.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Siakam had player that showed up. Siakam was moving in slow motion tonight. Siakam weren't doing anything.
Dude,
regards to the points that he scored.
Dude, let me give you some stats. Siakam
Forget the stats. Stats don't mean nothing in this case. You gotta play, man. You can get all the stats in the world. I know guys that pad their stats. I know guys that against a bad team, they're going to score 50 points. And when it really comes down to the crunch, they can't score 5.
The 38 points that Maxey had, the 26 and 6 and 6 that Harris have, don't count?
I'm not talking about Harris. I'm talking about our guys. I'm talking about how our guys played.
Well, but I was going to give you the stats, if I will. Siakam still did 24 points, 3 assists and 7 rebounds. OG did 20 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds and 2 assists. Van Vliet, even though he stunk up the place, did 18 points, 1 rebound and 6 assists. And Barnes did 2 shy of a triple-double, his first, if you were to do it, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists.
Look at the plus minus. Okay, regards to the points that those guys scored, look at their plus minus, and you realize they all stunk the place out.
Oh, you're bringing analytics to me now?
No, but the plus minus tells you something about how well they performed on the court while they're out there.
Explain the plus minus for people who don't know. Because sometimes I think it's bullshit.
It depends. How much you contribute to the game while you're on.
While you're on the court,
while you're on the court, that's where your plus minus comes from. How well you contribute to the success of the team, or lack of the team.
Not only just you, but when you're on the court,
how everybody else does. Yeah, like say that's a nice point guard comes on the court, right?
Yeah, because you can be on the court.
When he comes on the court, the team starts to score and do things well. He's going to have a great.
Yeah, but
he's going to be on the plus side.
But you can be on the court where you don't do nothing for the quarter, but that the team wins. So your plus minus would be plus. So the plus minus is based on how much the team is
How much you
positive.
contribute to the team? How much you contribute to the team?
No. It's not just how you contribute, but how much the team does in the
While
time
you're on
you're
there,
on
yeah.
the court.
While you're in the game, yes, yeah, that's it.
There's sometimes where you might not score any points, have no rebounds, no assists, but
Like a Boucher, do all the intangible things, right? Grab offensive rebounds, get deflections, all those things come towards it. It's a complicated stat. I'd hate to have to keep those stats.
what do you think you'll do now then?
Boucher is a good example of, I think, I don't know for sure, but it's my belief that Boucher probably leads the Raptors in plus minus, in the plus.
You know what? I wouldn't disagree with you because he comes on, he hustles, he does
I would say Scotty Barnes would be a good second. I haven't looked at those stats, but that's what I would think how those guys play.
Neither have I, but I'll probably agree with you too. So what do we do going forward? So we've lost one game, 1 of 7. It's not over until it's over, like Bova. I ain't rolling over. So we can split the 2. Let's say we win the next one in Philly. What do we have to do to win the next game in Philly?
Figure out their offense. And find the counters to it. This is where night nurse Nick, as you call him, he's got to earn his money now with this situation, because he's got to get those guys' spirits up. They can't feel like, they can't win against this team. And I don't think that's the case. He has to lift their spirits up. They have to lift themselves up, get together as a group, and come out and kick some ass.
Do you think he will try what I propose to?
No.
Oh, sorry. You don't want to
I
hear
already know what you propose. No way. No coach would try that. No coach would try that, Clifton. That's why you know the coach.
Dude, pull Scotty Barnes or Trent Jr.
Let's hope we have Scotty Barnes to do something with next game.
Out of the line, out of the
I didn't hear any
lineup.
reports of the injury. What's the report on his injury?
So far, they say it's a left sprain, ankle sprain.
Okay, because he had 280 pounds stepping on that ankle.
Yes, that's tough. That's tough.
I saw that MB says, "Oh, damn, that looked like almost like the Stephen Curry situation."
Hold on, though. Here's another thing, Michael, that I've been calling for years, since Charles Oakley. And what's that white dude name? Oh shit, that white dude that everybody hated, and he was on our team.
Lambert, you go to your Lambert, the enforcer.
No. Yes, you're right. But there was a guy on our team. I'm trying to remember his name on our team on the Raptors for a while. Anyway, so I've always thought that we needed some bad dudes, right? Cats who go in and take 6 fouls and slap them up, right? And when Scotty Barnes,
that's some big technicals and some huge fines for the team. You can't play like that again.
Exactly. So what it is that you have a guy dedicated to that. And I'm thinking
it can't work today, Clifton.
I'm
that
thinking
shit can't work today.
Come on,
it cannot work today.
Yes, it can. I'm thinking about a
that guy would not be in the league for any length of time.
You remember we had a nasty guy on the team? Come on, man. He was on a whole bunch of other teams and we got him. What's his name again? I can't even remember him. But here's what I'm saying, though, is that, remember when Scotty Barnes pushed, I forget who he pushed, on his left arm and knocked them down on the floor. And he stepped over them and Embiid pushed him. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
The Raptors need a nasty Dennis Rodman, Charles Oakley kind of guy.
But let me tell you something, Clifton. Anybody who bumps into Scotty Barnes, I'm sorry for them. That's a strong young man, let me tell you.
Not only that, we need a guy, either Thaddeus Young, Kim Birch.
Yeah, Thaddeus hurt his thumb tonight. Did he break it or what?
I don't know, because he didn't play that much. We need Thaddeus Young, Birch, or Wasnabe, one of them others, to come in
Wasn't
and give us 6 fouls where, look, when you come into the paint, like back in the day with Charles Oakley,
hey, man,
you come into the
those
you come into
fouls,
the paint, with pain.
those days are gone. All that means is you foul the guy, that means 2 more points. That means 2 points that you can't make account for.
I will take it. I will take it because they'll be reticent to come into the paint after that.
I don't think so. Look at Allen Iverson. Shaq used to foul Iverson, right? And Allen came into the key every single minute. All he's going to do is foul out.
It'll be we're eagles deer, because if we have a guy, let's say it's Watanabe, let's say Watanabe comes in, we don't need him for much. We just need him to go in there and hit guys when they come into the paint hard.
That don't work no more in basketball, Clifton. That game is over.
Am I so old school? Am I older than you as an older head?
You're going too far back. The game has moved far beyond that. Basketball has evolved so much it ain't funny.
What do we got?
Like every big man now can shoot the 3-point shot. Every big man can handle the ball and bring it up the court.
I'm talking about when they come into the paint, baby. When you come into the paint, you come into pain.
Look how easy they call flagrant fouls right now.
We'll
the game
take
is
it.
so soft. The game is so soft right now, Clifton, that if you raise your hand to hit somebody, you'll get charged for a foul.
Watanabe can take 6 fouls, and he's going to give 6 hard fouls.
But what are you trying to do? Hurt the other guy and the other team? This isn't hockey. Come on. It doesn't matter. You can't play to just hurt. You have to play to win. Hitting somebody. Listen, when I played, if you come and you hit me, you'll be leaving the game in a few minutes. And the ref wouldn't see what happened to you. People can play that nasty. And if you play like that, you're going to be out of the league.
But Michael, there are a lot of nasty guys in the league who do that and get away with it too.
I don't know
Right
about
now.
that. I haven't seen too many get away with anything really these days. The way that these refs call the game, it is so soft. I mean, it's way too soft, right? That's why guys can score so much, because you got touch and foul. You know, a guy gets a little bump, foul. It's too soft. The game is designed so that the offensive player has a huge advantage over the defensive player.
So as an ex-player, Michael, being in the high rarefied air of championship basketball in this country and internationally, what do you do when you have a loss like this, your first game of a series? What is said in the locker room? What do players say to themselves? And how do they fortify themselves for game 2 to win?
If you're a player of their stature, you should be able to look at each other, look at your teammates, talk to your teammates, and get together with your teammates. You guys are going to spend some time together and figure this shit out. And when the next game comes, right, you guys come with more resolve. You guys come with some energy. They know they got a big. They'll look at the tape and they'll see how they messed up.
And what specifically?
And judging from how the Raptors have played this year, I think they're going to come with some solutions. I have to believe that.
What specifically would you suggest then for the 2 major players on the Sixers, Embiid and Harden, James Harden and Embiid? What would you do different than you did tonight with those 2 guys, especially?
Well, with James Harden, I try not to get involved in too many pick and rolls with him. The guys are playing James pretty good. I think now guys are playing James pretty good, but James,
for half of the first quarter.
Yeah, James showed up now. James is ready. People have been saying a lot of shit about James, and that's not good for us. Because the caliber of player that James is, he can do some serious stuff.
Don't poke the beard, as they say.
That's right. He is don't poke the beard. Yes, don't poke the beard.
The beard.
Don't poke the beard. Because we all know he was a former MVP. Come on, that's a dangerous dude. Because of how he's being played, that's a dangerous dude.
Anything about the lineup though, in terms of tweaking the lineup in any way?
So I missed the start of the game. Who did we start with?
The general thing, I believe it was Trent, OG, Siakam, Barnes, and
Who was the five?
I don't remember if it was Precious. I think it might have been Precious or
Is it Precious or was it Precious or
Birch.
Boucher? Birch?
One of them two.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? Precious has really evolved. His game has really evolved for us. He's so strong and he's a smart player. That guy is strong. Like he's strong as hell, man. I see him hit some people, or guys trying to push him out of the way. You can't move him. I mean, Embiid is a different story, but
but he's shown progress in terms of the way he's been able to handle Embiid, which is why I've been proposing to take out
because he is that strong. You see.
So that's why
Embiid, but don't forget, Embiid has that height. How they have to play the Philadelphia when they played Philadelphia effectively? Those guys our Raptors were doubling like if they were on something. You know, everybody was like hyper mobile, and hands are flying and double teaming. And then when Philadelphia tries to get out of the double team, they're throwing the ball away. Well, that didn't happen tonight.
Well, a problem we've always had the threes, right? Where we double and triple people like we do Embiid, and we give up the 3-pointers, and sometimes we deliberately give up the threes, which is a problem I have with Night Nurse Nick too, is that we give up the threes sometimes to sniper 3-pointer teams, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any opinion about the idea of switching, doubling and tripling and deliberately letting go the 3 points?
I think we have to be cognizant of the players that are on the wings that can really shoot the ball, not give them too much space.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only double so much. If you're on that, if the ball's on the other side of the court, you could come over a little bit and get your foot inside the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when that ball flies to the guy you're supposed to be covering on the wing, you have no chance to stop that jumper. And they've been getting caught too far away from the player where the pass goes to. So and those guys are all hitting their trees tonight. So
Michael, I think that what's happened is that
we would have to play we had to play man and man up. That's what it looked like. That's what like what we're gonna have to do, because I think Philadelphia is no longer going to be affected by the double teams. They have a solution for that already.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've done it to them. They know what to expect. They know how we do it, and they've watched the film.
But
quite simple.
But our coach, Night Nurse Nick, is supposed to be the master of junking it up, right?
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say.
I think
let him come and junk it up next game. Show what he's got.
And I think he's a way better coach than the absolutely overrated coach of Doc Rivers. That dude is just going on PR and publicity, in my mind, tell the truth. He hasn't done shit since Orlando, or when he lucked into that Boston championship team. I think he's just moving on fumes. So Night Nurse Nick, it comes down to him, to what he will do. What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the series? And ultimately, how do you call this series? Who's going to win it and by what? I, for instance, think that the Raptors are going to take it in 6 or 7. What about you?
This series has the potential to go 7 games.
Absolutely.
Okay. Philadelphia 76ers, in my mind, will most likely be the victors of this series.
Why so?
Raptors. Huh?
Why?
Look at the way the Raptors started off.
It's right? Just one game, baby.
It's just one game. Philadelphia is way better than they ever were. They've got Harden. They've got Maxey. They've got what do we have? in terms of size to go with that, and they figured out our offense, our defense. They figured out our defense. Night Nurse Nick, as you call him, got to really junk it up, and he got to do some special stuff to keep them all balanced. This is where he had the coach in this situation. The coach is the biggest asset we have. So he is really, the coach is up against the block right now.
Absolutely. I believe so. I believe so. And I have faith, like an ex-Christian as I am. I got faith like an ex-Christian that Night Nurse Nick will come forward with something to junk it up. And I suggest that one of the most innovative things he can do, unsolicited from me, and I ain't getting paid like him, is that he junk up the starting lineup, take either Scotty Barnes or Trent Jr. out and put them on the bench, and then make them the fulcrum of the bench, and the bench will outscore the bench of Philadelphia. Because Precious can take care, Precious got the power to take care and guard Embiid, right? Don't you think?
No. No one man could guard Embiid.
But he can do it.
He can make him, have a little tough time, but no one man could guard Embiid.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to double him, right? But when you double him, you got to make sure you have enough room to get back to the next guys. You have to know who the shooters are. You have to identify the shooters, and it doesn't seem like they identify the shooters. Because next time you see a guy shooting, they say, "Oh man, this guy's been hot for years now," and they let him just shoot the ball.
So, but what if though, for a moment, consider, what if Barnes or Trent Jr. were to come off of the bench and work with the bench? What do you think their production would be consistently?
I really can't. I can't even answer that, because who would you put on the floor instead of Barnes to get us through the first, to give us some real impact in the game?
I would say, okay, let's say it's Barnes on the bench, Trent Jr., Siakam, OG, Birch, and Precious.
To start the game?
Yes.
You don't have enough scoring there, man.
We got Siakam, we got Trent, and we got, I forgot to say, sorry, Van Vliet. We got 3 scorers right there. And with Precious, Precious can hit his threes off and on. He go 50%.
Right now, Precious seems to be the most consistent three-point shooter on the team.
Wow, isn't that something? Isn't that something?
I haven't seen the stat. I just see him play his play and how many three-pointers he's putting up, how consistent he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one Raptor that really surprised me. I say he's the most improved Raptor this year.
I think so, especially in the last after the All-Star game, really.
Yeah. He just all of a sudden just showed up, man.
Michael, though, you have an answer to me, and we're coming down to the end of the stretch here, right? Is that this is a 7-game series. The first one will face the winner of whoever and whoever. But it's the Raptors versus the 76ers. They came out 131 to 111. They beat us tonight in Philadelphia. Another game, second game is in Philadelphia. They played 2 after that in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. What do you think then? What is your prognostication for the end of this series? I, for instance, said to you, I think the Raptors are going to take it in 6 or 7. What do you think?
The Raptors could take it in 7. I can't see them doing it in 6 the way they played tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing the way they can play, I could see them getting a chance to do it in 7. And on the flip side, you see the way those the media has jumped on Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
If Harden just spits on the ground, he's in trouble, right? So those guys the Philadelphia is motivated. The media has motivated.
Absolutely.
Philadelphia.
You're right.
They have an advantage there. That's an advantage I think they have. the media has given them an advantage, because if I was Harden, there's no way I would lose to Toronto.
Indeed. Michael,
And I
speaking
would
on
make
that,
it my best to not lose. I'd play like a beast. And
speaking on,
he has to do that. That's why it's such a tough series.
speaking on that, right? We've come, those of us who've been with the Raptors from the very beginning, Alvin Robertson, Vincenzo, Bagnani, all the way through Oakley and Vince Carter, Stoudemire, all the way up past that. We're used to being disappointed. But now the Raptors are giving us these little trinkets of excellence. Where right now, I didn't, in my wildest mind last year, coming into this season, think that the Raptors will be at number 5. So in my mind, I'm already celebrating. I used to celebrate the Raptors when they won 1 game in a row.
Well, the reason they're at number 5, Masai Ujiri, the Raptors scouting crew. The Raptors can scout. Whoever they have that analyzes talent, they can analyze talent, because
Indeed.
we made a hell of a jump from how we finished the year last year.
Dig.
And that's the scouting talent of that team. They think some players come in like, who knew Precious was going to get like this?
True.
Gary Trent never played that well until he came here.
Masai knew that
One of the biggest crooks in the league right now, Gary Trent.
Because Masai, that first with that trade with Gary Trent, we were all in tears, myself included, about losing Norm Powell. I'm like, why give up Norm? But then I looked at the age, the stats of both of them, and I'm like, and then the actual development of Gary Trent Jr. when he came here, I said, excellent move. Sorry, Masai, you got one, brother. Then when the trade for Lowry, when he got Precious, I'm like, hold on, you didn't get Harrow, you didn't get so-and-so, you didn't get so-and-so. I was like, what, dude? But then, wow, months later, here comes Precious. I said to Masai again, dude, you got 2. Please don't tell nobody what I will do to you.
You got to, huh?
Ow!
Yeah, man. No, but I love the way we pick up play. I love the way they're building the team. I mean, we were starving for centers last year. Remember, we said we need to get a good center.
Yes.
And they're what they got is, I think, is better than we thought they could have gotten. Well, Precious is, I mean, he's an amazing on-the-side center.
Well, look, here's the innovative thing that we haven't talked about, the elephant in the room, really, that we've not been avoiding, but we just didn't get to. But it's the new concept that already a number of teams are emulating. You get a whole bunch of dudes who are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", with wingspan from 7 feet to 7'4" feet, and you throw them in. They can run the ball in transition. Anybody can take the ball up past midcourt, up to the 3-point line. Any of them can do it. And they can reflex, they can dismount people, they can get in your face, they can get steals, deflections. What about that strategy of Masai, and how innovating is that?
Well, it's very innovative that we're so long. So when in terms of when you're going to pressure the ball, it's effective. But don't forget, we are still so long. Look what Philadelphia did to us tonight.
Yes, because the coach, I think, erred in how he applied it. But I mean, overall,
Philadelphia didn't look stressed at any point during this game.
No, and I believe, again, it's the coach's night nurse Nick's fault, I believe.
Yeah, you always have to blame the coach. The coach is the
But the point, but what I'm asking you though, going back, if you will, rewind, say through the regular season, right?
Mhm.
The effectiveness and how most teams apparently in the Eastern Conference were saying that the team they don't want to get up against in the first round is the Raptors. Embiid has said that they're a pesky team. They make me work more. A whole lot of major players have said the Raptors, they just fuck me up, man. So what?
That's why I said the Philadelphia, they watched some film and they came up with a solution.
They did. You're right. They did. You're right. They did.
Right? They watched film. They came up with a solution, and the Raptors look shocked. Like, what the hell? We can't stop Maxey. Well, a guy gets hot like Maxey too. I mean, god damn, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, really, it's over. It's over.
It's over.
It's over, my dear.
They hit the baskets like it's like he's shooting the orange at the basket, you know.
So you say Raptors in what? Who wins the series then? In what?
Raptors had a chance to win this series in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it goes less than 7, it's in the favor of Philadelphia.
What's your prognostication then for the second game in Philadelphia happening a day from now, Monday?
I think Raptors will come out and scare to put a scare in them. Hopefully they could win the game.
Mm-hmm.
But this game that we saw today, don't expect to see another game like this again for the rest of the series.
How crucial then is it for the Raptors to actually win the next game on Monday in Philadelphia, to split the 2 at home in Philadelphia, to then come back to play 2 in Toronto?
It's crucial to win the next game, right? I mean, if they don't win the next game, when they come back to Toronto, they better come back here and play their ass off, because if Philadelphia comes and gets a game here without them winning one there,
it's over.
It's a 6-game series.
Yeah. Wow. Michael Chambers, before you go,
Solomon.
Sorry, Michael Solomon, right? Michael Solomon, you know, I always mix you up with my favorite photographer. Michael Solomon, what do you think then is going to happen? And more to the point, tell us about the other things you're doing from basketball to now, especially with Solomon Studios.
Well, Solomon Studios is developing the creative side of me. You know, it's like a second career, so to speak. You know, retirement year here, we're gonna live on as a designing and painting, and you know, do some background work, those kind of things.
And you can't get basketball out of you, because some of your paintings have been of basketball players. Tell me about two of your favorite ones that I like. One with Kobe and one with my man Edwards from the Timberwolves.
Yeah, they're very realistic paintings. You know, and in those paintings, you feel the action of the game.
Poetry in motion.
Painting, you can feel it, you can see it. It gives you the feel of the game. It's something that's.
I see your shoulders moving.
I like to paint. I think I paint the way I play. You know, with excitement, and I make it entertaining for the people watching the game. So if you see spend some time with one of my paintings, you're gonna be excited and enjoy what you're looking at or what you're feeling because of it.
Who on the Raptors, Michael, you think closest mirror your style when you play?
My style when I played. Oh, wow.
Not even, there don't need to be a player right now. It could have been a prior player on the Raptors from years ago, but whoever have been on the Raptors roster that you look at them and you say, wow, that dude is doing my moves.
But you know what I've seen in the players that play more like me are players who are now 6'9" and 6'7". Like, you know, the real tall guys, they're playing like the way I play. I was a wing player.
And you were playing
Right?
at what, six?
Slasher,
And you were playing like
slasher,
6'7"?
quick first step to the basket. And
Give me some names, brother.
I'm trying to think about that. It's
Take
wow.
your time, young man. Mama used to say, don't you rush to get it on. Mama
Raptors,
used to say.
I can't think of it off the hand. No, I can't think of anymore.
Okay, cool breeze.
I never really stopped to put myself, you know, say he plays like me, he plays like, you know, I never stopped really doing that. But anybody who plays good defense and slashes to the basket as a team player, that's me.
How far do you think the Raptors will go? And secondarily, who do you think will actually be the Eastern Conference two teams at the finals?
Well, it's hard to not see Miami in there. But we have the Eastern Conference, we have a strange thing. Right now, the way Brooklyn Nets
they're playing Boston.
The last game that Kyrie played, holy crap. Man, listen, they're scary, man.
But dude, they're playing Boston though.
Regardless, I mean, I want to see what that first game looks like. You know? But they're a scary team. Like Kyrie, if Kyrie can play like that, and don't forget, right now, Kyrie, there's no restrictions to him playing at the Garden, right? And you saw how Durant was smiling last game. I think he had to smile the whole game just watching Kyrie play. Right? So that's a dangerous sign there, man. Those guys are legendary players already. So I don't know, man. They have a chance to be there. From what they're what the 7th seed? Yes.
But please answer my question though. I ask you, one, how far do you think the Raptors will go? And two, who do you see as the two teams for the finals in the East?
I say Raptors will make it to the second round to get past Philadelphia. That's it. I don't think they'll go beyond that because they need a lot more pieces right now. They still have to grow. They have grown beyond their expectations this year, which is a good thing. So look for great things from the Raptors.
And for the finals, for the finals in the East, Milwaukee and who?
Milwaukee. I can't say right now who's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's got a cakewalk through it.
Seven versus 2.
1 versus 8, 7 versus
1 versus 8.
So they'll knock off the Hawks, whoever they in that bracket with the Hawks and all of them, right? They got Chicago. They take Chicago. That'll probably be a sweep. So they got the easiest pathway to the finals.
I'm not seeing it. I don't have anything in front of me. Is it possible that Miami and Brooklyn could end up playing each other in the finals? Can they come together before? I don't see what the back. I have nothing in front of me to make a.
I don't think so. Let me just check and see. I don't think so. But that would be very interesting. Wow.
The East has flipped with the West this year. Remember before the West had the best records?
Yes.
Up and down? This year it's the East. This is the first time I switched to the East. The East has the more powerful team, it seems.
Okay. Wow. Where is it? Shit. So, okay. Miami, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Toronto, Milwaukee, Chicago. So Miami goes forward and they'll meet Milwaukee, Chicago. So
Miami could be playing Milwaukee.
Miami, Atlanta, and then Philadelphia, Toronto, the winner goes. And then you got Milwaukee, Chicago, and Boston, Brooklyn.
And the winner of Boston, Brooklyn, who do they play?
They play the winner of Miami, Atlanta, or Philadelphia, Toronto? The winner of Miami and Atlanta will play the winner of Philadelphia, Toronto. You get that?
Okay. Miami is winning their series for sure.
Of course. So then they'll play whoever wins Toronto and Philadelphia. Then Milwaukee plays Chicago, and then they'll play whoever wins from Brooklyn or Boston.
Okay. So,
and then those winners play each other. So Miami is going through Chicago, Boston, or Brooklyn, and Milwaukee is going through Chicago, Boston, or Brooklyn, and Miami is going through Atlanta, Philadelphia, or Toronto.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Miami has the easiest time, I think, of the two, because they got to beat either Philadelphia or Toronto.
So we can have Milwaukee playing Indiana, or Milwaukee playing.
Not Indiana.
No. I mean Miami.
Yeah, in the finals in the East, yes.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
That would be very exciting, and I think Milwaukee.
But then the wild card is like, we don't know what we're gonna get from Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, because Boston and Brooklyn, I think Milwaukee will probably sweep Chicago. Then they face the winner of Boston.
I don't know about sweeping. I don't know about any sweeping. Chicago can't be swept.
All right, 4-1 or 4-2. But there's no way Milwaukee lose that series, really.
No. It can go as many as 6 games. It probably end in 5.
So then Milwaukee will play the winner of Boston or Brooklyn. However, I think Miami has an easier time because they'll beat Atlanta, I believe, and they'll face the winner of Toronto or Philadelphia to get to the final.
We're saying Milwaukee is most likely going to beat Brooklyn, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. That's going to be nice to see. Wow, to see Yannick go against
Butler.
No, go Yannick going against Durant.
The ref?
Durant. Yannick.
Oh, Durant?
Durant, yeah.
But hold on, no. Okay, yeah. You're right. The semifinals.
Yeah.
If Brooklyn beat Boston.
That's going to be a nice matchup, because I'll tell you, those guys, 2 of the best players in the world right now.
So what you're saying is that Brooklyn will beat Boston?
I think they have the potential is there. The potential is really there. Because Boston's waiting to get their big man back, right?
Yeah, but they've been on a tier without him.
Yes, they have. But then you see the way Kyrie's playing too, right? That's I can't wait to see that series.
Yep, but I'm suspicious about the bench of Brooklyn, and also the pedigree of the coach. Nash hasn't shown us shit that he's actually a coach. Really.
He's got the players, man. He's got the players. They're Brooklyn has had the weirdest sort of season when you come, just with all these COVID protocols and Kyrie's antics and all that kind of stuff, and Harden leaving and all that, you know.
Yep.
So I think because of that, they will not make it to the finals.
Plus,
so I see Milwaukee Bucks going to the finals.
Yes, me too.
And I see them possibly playing Miami.
Yeah, because they're in the separate brackets.
Yeah, because Miami is playing very well.
Mind you, I'm still going with my Raptors to say that, you know what, we might be able to beat Philadelphia, and we'll beat Miami after that. I think we can beat Miami.
Well, you see, I don't know. Right now, the Philadelphia 76ers have the biggest motivation of any team right now.
Because it's now or never.
Yeah, they have the biggest motivation. So they're, you know, I wouldn't like to meet them in an alley. I wouldn't like to meet that team in the dark alley because they're desperate.
Especially in an alley in, especially in an alley in North Philly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're a real desperate team, and they have so much to prove. That's, you know, they have the recipe for success.
Mm-hmm. Well, I digress. Thank you so much, Michael Solomon. Thank you so much for with us. We're back on the block, y'all. Like Quincy Jones, we'll be back all at Raptors game throughout the playoffs. Raptors right now, they lost tonight 131-111 to the Philadelphia 76ers. The first game of 7. Second game, 2 nights from now, Monday night, Eastern time in Philly. And then they move to Scotiabank Arena in Toronto for 2 games. And then we'll see what happens after that. Michael, we'll keep a chronicle of that. Thank you so much. Anything you got to say to the folks?
Tune in next time.
Right on, right on.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Take care.